The difference between a winner and loser is that a winner plays until he wins. और आज हमारे साथ एक ऐसा विनर है, एक ऐसा स्टूडेंट है जो लास्ट तक लड़ते रहा till he actually achieved an all India rank. From thought of appearing only one group to achieving an all India rank 34, I welcome you all on behalf of Team Innovate to have a heart-to-heart conversation with Piyush Kothari, and if I put it up rightly, AIR 34 Inter CA May 23, Piyush Kothari. Hello Piyush Kothari, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. It feels quite surreal right now. I think it has not yet sunk in the emotions. Yeah, it was completely unexpected to get the rank. So I think the emotions are quite high till now.
So Piyush, at the first place, if I can just ask you that you have gone through a roller coaster ride, and to all my audience, I think if I'm not wrong, and I am really very sorry, that was March 3rd, that is exactly around 2 months before the main exam, when there was an unforeseen event at your home and you lost your grandparent. At that moment, and in that particular situation at your home, what was it going all into your head, and how did you actually fight from that moment to take it up to these exams?
So, sir, it was a very difficult phase for me. It was the first time that I had lost a close family member. So, yeah, at that time, thoughts that come that I will not be able to give both the groups because I was just not able to focus on studies. And then there are all the rituals which we have to do. So that was a phase when I decided that I won't give both the groups. I will only give one group, and that too even if I am able to study. So, but at that time, I think my mom supported me a lot. She was like, you take a break of 3 to 4 days, then it will be your decision, whatever you want to do. So I did as she said. I took a break of 3 days, and then just I started to study gradually. I had not yet decided that I will give both the groups. But I think things happened just, it was fate. I think I somehow managed to study both the groups and I gave both the groups. That's it.
Wow, crazy. I think वो मेरे हिसाब से बहुत ही important decision था, and I think next time I should meet mom and thank her, क्योंकि यार वो condition में जो support चाहिए और वो जो emotional support is a major thing, because you were in that particular environment, and from there if you have to get to you, hats off to you and majorly hats off to the mom. Thank you so much. If mom is listening to this podcast,
Definitely.
thank you auntie. Definitely it is. I think now credit goes to her directly her, क्योंकि वो जो emotional breakdown होता है और फिर वो emotional breakdown से if you have took it today, hats off, crazy hats off. So let us get back to our main discussion. आज audience बैठी है, बहुत सारे जन जुड़ रहे हैं, और मैं आप लोगों को बता दूं, पीयूष एक ऐसा लड़का था जो क्लास में आई थिंक आता था, ऑनलाइन भी आता था. उसने फुल एडवांटेज लिया है एडनोवेट का, लाइव जूम का भी और रिकॉर्डेड का भी. सो पीयूष, when you were studying, let us start from the beginning. When you were studying, when you were preparing for your exams, right from the day you chose to, let's go to Ednovate and start your coaching. वहां से I want to know a little bit of your journey. मतलब how were your preparation at that point of time? कितनी बार क्लास में ऐसा वाइब आया कि यार मेरे को ऑल इंडिया रैंक लेके आना है, and so on.
So I had joined early bird lecture, but I always had the feeling that I will not clear CA foundation exam. So I was not at all serious about CA inter. I just attended, I guess, the first week of early bird, and then I did not attend the lectures because I was not serious.
That's very bad. ऐसा नहीं करना है.
I would recommend that, but I did that. And then once the result came, I luckily passed. And then I decided to come back to lectures. But then once I started coming to lectures, I noticed that there was a big gap between those who were attending the lectures regularly, because they were already habituated to the length of the lectures, 2.5 hours. And for me, I had not attended the lectures. To suddenly sit a 3.5 hour lecture, it took a toll on me. And I noticed that there was a difference between me and the other students. So that was a early realization which I had, that I need to cope up very quickly in order to be at par with them. So I think that was an eye-opener for me in terms of CA inter preparation itself. And then once I came to know, I started to sort of decide my strategy, how I will continue forward. And then Ednovate has a system of having a test every alternate Sunday. So first test which I gave, first test which I gave, I failed very badly. Sir asked us a question who has scored below 15 marks, and I think I was the only one. So it was a very embarrassing moment for me. At that moment, I decided that now it's time that I have to be serious. And I think the next test was an FM test, and I studied a lot for that. I got 48 out of 50. So I think that was a moment where I realized that I do belong here. So yeah, that was the moment which gave me
But
momentum.
पूरी जर्नी में कहीं पे भी you had imagined कि नहीं सर मेरे को लग रहा था कि मैं भी रैंक लेके आ सकता हूँ. I would just honestly, मैं तो भाई कभी रैंक नहीं लेके आया, and I'm glad over period I have definitely had so many of my students who got rank. तो मुझे वो पूछना है क्योंकि आज बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स सुन रहे होंगे जिन्होंने अब तक प्लान नहीं किया कि वो लोगों को रैंक आएगा कि नहीं आएगा. शायद बहुत सारे ऐसे भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो ये सोच रहे होंगे यार सर मैं पास भी होऊंगा कि नहीं होऊंगा. तो आपको कितनी बार ऐसा फीलिंग आया इन द जर्नी कि सर पता नहीं मैं पास होऊंगा कि नहीं होऊंगा? हाउ मेनी टाइम हैव यू दैट फीलिंग एंड हाउ यू डेल्ट विद सच काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग टू रीच वेयर यू आर? देखो you have got everybody know it's an all India rank 34. जब पूरे इंडिया में 10% रिजल्ट आया बोथ ग्रुप का, you belong to that 10% and you belong to the merit list. So कितनी बार you had that feeling कि यार मेरा तो क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ during your study period, मतलब during your classes and then your study period.
So मतलब रैंक का तो आई हैड नेवर एवर इमेजिन्ड, मतलब मैं सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि मुझे रैंक आएगा. इट वाज ऑलवेज अ स्ट्रगल बिटवीन वेदर आई विल पास और वेदर आई विल नॉट पास, एंड इफ आई विल पास वेदर आई विल पास बोथ द ग्रुप्स और नॉट. सो गेटिंग बियॉन्ड 500 वाज बियॉन्ड माय इमेजिनेशन. लाइक आई हैड नेवर थॉट दैट आई can go there, but I think slowly and gradually it was more about the process. I think there came a phase in my life when I decided that look, the result is eventually out of my control, so I just need to focus on the process. And I think during the study leave particularly, so there was a system of flexi test, the like in every week we had to complete one subject and give that exam. So I started gradually with one week system, and slowly and steadily it just happened like that. I had never even imagined that I may even come close to getting 500 marks, leave far away that I will get 600 marks.
So that means I also, since you mentioned it twice already, that कि वो जो flexi test थी उसके पहले आपने बोला कि every alternate week there was test. So this test, how important are these tests in the students' journey? मतलब guys, it is extremely important. I would like to draw attention to all the students and parents. आप imagine कीजिए कैसा लड़का जो खुद accept कर रहा है कि सर मैंने सोचा भी नहीं था कि मैं कभी रैंक लेके आऊंगा, मेरे लिए हमेशा ये था कि मैं पास हो या नहीं हूँ. तो दो मोमेंट है जो वो मेंशन कर रहा है कि सर एक बार वो फ्लेक्स, एक तो रेगुलर टेस्ट ने थोड़ा क्लिक किया एंड फ्लेक्सी टेस्ट व्हिच डेफिनेटली एडनोवेट्स प्रोवाइड्स टू मेक श्योर. तो कितना काम किया आपको वो ड्यूरिंग द स्टडी टाइम, ड्यूरिंग द क्लासेस के टाइम पे जो एडनोवेट की टेस्ट होती थी एंड वो फ्लेक्सी टेस्ट, how much importance did that have in your achievement today?
I think वो flexi test was very important because eventually in exam there is a lot of pressure, and even if you know things in exam you sort of forget things, and there is also pressure of time that it lasts 15 minutes, you have to complete one sum, and if you are sitting at home you will definitely complete that sum, but the pressure of exam is such that in last 15 minutes your hands just start shivering. So I think in terms of that it was very beneficial for me to give all those flexi tests and all those tests which happened in alternate Sundays. I think it was very important to stay at par with the professor because once you get a backlog then it is very difficult to cover it up because we continuously have lecture of 8 hours, so it's very difficult to cover the backlog. So those alternate week tests were very important from that perspective, I think.
Very nice. In fact, again guys, there's one more, as in when we are discussing और भी बहुत कुछ निकल रहा है, and here there is a one more important concept which Piyush have highlighted, वो है backlog का. Students, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स क्या करते हैं, they move on to the recorded lectures, backlog create हो जाता है, कभी कभी वो क्लास में नहीं आ पाते तो लोगों का मिस भी हो जाता है. In fact, I am sure that you had an advantage. How much importance was the recorded lecture of the same day got available to you from Innovate? कितनी बार आप क्लास में नहीं आ पाए and thanks to the technology which we could provide had helped you?
वो बहुत important था because even if you are regular with the class, there comes a phase when we have exams of BCom. So there are 10 days of that which ultimately every student has to miss because we have to study for exams too. So I think those 10 days same happened with me also. I was not able to attend the lectures. So in that phase, I think recorded lectures helped us a lot because we always have the option of seeing the lectures at 1.25 depending upon what the sir is teaching. And if even at home I am studying something and I get stuck at a particular point, rather than waiting for the next day and asking the doubt to the professor, I think I have the Innovate app in my mobile, so I can just go to the recorded lecture and see it. So I think it was one of the best things that happened, that Innovate provided us the recorded lectures, and the Innovate app was also very good. So it was very helpful for me.
So I think देखो क्या होता है Piyush, I believe कि everybody have that facilities and everybody get maybe कोई किसी के पास recorded lecture है, किसी को late आ रहा है या कोई खाली recording के लिए जा रहा है, but despite of that कहीं ना कहीं पर वो miss करता है एक motivation, you know, एक बार वो backlog mount हो गया तो backlog has its own story. वो एक ऐसा पहाड़ है जो खुद बनते जाता है and eventually people succumb to that, you know, वो give up कर देते हैं यार, they are not possible for everybody to cover up that backlog. What kept you motivated during your journey to not create backlog, and अगर backlog create हो गया तो क्या वो feeling थी जिससे आपने वो backlog को clear किया?
Like backlog मेरा भी हो ही गया था, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने पहले बोला I attended only 1 week of early bird lecture, so entire early bird was backlog for me. So then once a backlog is created, then it is upon you to either succumb to the pressure or then overcome it. So I think I decided to do one thing, that I will start completing backlog slowly and gradually. So I did that. We have a break of 1 hour between the lectures. So I used to sit during that break, and every break I used to see recorded lectures for 45 minutes at 1.25 speed. So that was the way that I sort of tried to cover my backlog. And then we had Diwali vacations. So I had one subject backlog till that also. So that backlog I covered during Diwali vacation.
Piyush, coming from a Marwadi family, मेरे को पक्का है कि मुझे भी मालूम है कि even I was मारवाड़ी, तो मुझे भी मालूम है कि बहुत बार ऐसा होता है ना घर का एटमॉस्फेयर, जब हम लोग पढ़ते रहते हैं तो बिजनेस, पापा का बिजनेस में हम लोगों को कहीं ना कहीं से हमेशा वो ड्राइव होता है. Did you ever had that drive of an entrepreneur या बिजनेस में कभी पापा के बिजनेस में इंटरफेरेंस का कभी भी आपके इस जर्नी में कभी रहा है कुछ?
मतलब मेरे को एंटरप्रेन्योर हमेशा बनना था, पर आई गेस फादर्स बिजनेस आई वाज नॉट क्वाइट इंटरेस्टेड इन इट, बिकॉज I don't know, I was just not into it right from the beginning only. I think I do go to father's shop sometimes, but only when it's necessary, and I don't quite have an interest in father's business.
So I had also come to know, I remember you missing out some of the classes at times. और मुझे पता है, याद है बहुत अच्छी तरह से कि you used to tell me कि सर सॉरी पापा बाहर गए थे तो मुझे दुकान पे बैठना पड़ा. ऐसा कितनी बार हुआ है कि पापा ने आपको बोला बेटा आज तो तेरे को दुकान पे बैठना पड़ेगा?
नहीं, ऐसा मुझे कभी पापा ने फोर्स नहीं किया. कभी अर्जेंट होता था तो कभी कभी बैठना पड़ता था, पर लाइक माय फादर एंड माय मदर वर वेरी सपोर्टिव, स्पेशली इन टर्म्स ऑफ माय स्टडीज. सो ऐसा कभी मेरे पे प्रेशर नहीं था कि दुकान पे बैठना है तो तू लेक्चर मिस कर. रादर दे वर ऑलवेज सपोर्टिव, और जितना हो सकता था वो ट्राई करते थे कि वो ही हैंडल कर ले सब. पर फिर कभी अर्जेंसी आती थी तो कभी कभी बैठना पड़ता था दुकान पे.
मतलब कोई भी बोरिंग लेक्चर हुआ तो तू ही बोल देता था पापा आज मैं दुकान पे बैठूंगा, आज आप बाहर घूमने. नहीं सर. Okay, so Piyush, I would really want you to pass on a message to all these kids today. मुझे क्या लगता है कहीं ना कहीं पर पूरा जो क्राउड है वो थोड़ा डरा हुआ है. मतलब आज 4 महीने पहले, 7 महीने पहले सब लोगों को ये लगता है क्योंकि जब भी रिजल्ट आते हैं lot of people pass, lot of people do not pass, तो वो एक fear in generally बच्चों में बैठ जाता है. I want you to help me that how you manage throughout your journey to stay motivated, and what message would you like to pass on to your juniors who are looking up to you now because you have already achieved it. आपका क्या मैसेज है उन लोगों के लिए, and how you kept yourself focused and motivated?
I think fear is a part and parcel of giving CA inter exams. Like 10% is the passing percentage, so obviously we need to be fearful. And I think irrespective of how much we say that I don't fear getting failed, everyone has that fear. So I think it's quite natural, and the important thing is that we need to accept it, and then we need to make efforts that we don't fail. So that's the more important thing according to me. So I think I also had that fear. Obviously everyone has that fear, but I think I never gave that much importance to that fear. I think for me the process was always more important. So I tried to study as much as possible, and I think the message which I would like to give is that being clear conceptually is very important. I think many of us make that mistake that we try to ratify things, and we don't understand the concept. So in exam, if a slightly different sum comes, then we get confused. But I think if we are conceptually clear, then those things don't happen. And so yes, for me, the prime importance was always that I need to be conceptually clear, even if I don't remember things. Then if we are clear conceptually, then remembering things happens very easily.
That's bring up me to very important question. कितना support किया Ednovate की faculties ने आपको conceptual clarity के लिए?
Like they were very supportive, all the faculties. The basic meaning of Ednovate itself is to innovate education, and I think all the faculties justified the name. So I would like to give example of you. So your teaching technique was that like you used to explain us the concept, and then you used to give us the question without giving the solution. It's very easy for you to give the solution and we to just copy it down, but I think initially even I had a problem with that. I think you used to make fun of us sometimes, and everyone, I think I was fearful of that initially, but now I have the advantage of hindsight. So if I see at hindsight, I think it was one of the best techniques which you used, and obviously you have that experience. That was sort of the best mock test for us, that we were prepared in the classroom itself to see new sums. So that helped us a lot during exams too.
Exactly. In fact, a lot of students ask me, बहुत सारे जन डरते हैं कि सर कॉस्टिंग नहीं आता है, but they don't really understand कि वो लोग आज रो रहे हैं क्योंकि एग्जाम के दिन वो लोग हंसने वाले, and more important शायद एग्जाम के दिन भी रोए, but result के दिन definitely वो लोग हंसेंगे. Were you sure that how much marks how much did you score in costing, if I can ask?
I got 81.
81. How much were you expecting in?
I was expecting to fail in costing.
Oh my God. तो ये डिफरेंस हो जाता है जब बंदा खुद से ट्राई करता है, तो वो एग्जाम में बेसिकली यू जस्ट अलाउड योरसेल्फ टू फ्लो. आई आल्सो बिलीव पीयूष दैट इन द एंटायर जर्नी एक डिफरेंस होता है, एक बंदा जो पास होता है और एक बंदा जो रैंक लेके आता है ना. तो आई बिलीव दैट रैंकर अवॉइड्स दैट लॉट ऑफ सिली मिस्टेक्स. सो यू स्पोक अबाउट conceptual clarity. How much importance would you like to give to avoid those silly mistakes? और कैसे वो silly mistake हुई? Did writing practice help you a lot? Did you kept noticing on what mistakes you were doing and you rectified that? So I want to talk on how to avoid those silly mistakes which students do.
I think I used to write a lot of sums at home. So I think once I do a chapter, I used to try to solve 2 to 3 sums of that chapter, every chapter. So I think I started to become aware of my own mistakes, and I started to identify the areas where I was going wrong. So I think in this aspect, self introspection is quite important. We ourselves know our mistakes better than anyone else. Wherever we are losing marks in test or prelims, I think we need to just make a note of those all areas, and we need to make sure that we don't repeat those mistakes again. So I think that was the only thing which I kept in mind to avoid those silly mistakes.
Wow. And how much of your writing practice, apart from solving this at home, like how did you manage the hustle of theory subject and practical subject? If you can just give some insight on how to balance out between theory and practice.
So I think we need to first identify our own study pattern. So I was more comfortable with studying at morning rather than night. So I used to do theory subjects in the morning, and then the practical subjects, I think it came more natural to me. So I used to do the practical subjects at the time when I was not very comfortable. So I used to do practical subjects after the morning. So I think it is more about understanding your own study patterns, and then eventually you need to pass in all the subjects to pass CA inter exams. I know many students think that theory subjects are very difficult, so they tend to avoid it. But I think the subjects which are more difficult require more attention. So I think you need to identify your strengths, and then you can't just leave your weakness too. So just keep on making the strengths better and keep on working on your weakness too.
Last on this note, if I want to ask you, how did you avoid the biggest distraction to a CA student journey? That is mobile, that is Snapchat, that is Instagram, that is YouTube motivational videos or any other videos. So how did you avoid yourself?
I think I had a goal that I want to become CA in first attempt.
Wow.
I think everyone needs to have a goal. So because the basic purpose of having a goal is that it keeps you motivated, and it is quite natural, you know, during a big journey like CA Inter, there is 1 year where you have to stay completely motivated. So there are going to be times where you get off track a bit, but then I think if you have a clear goal, then it helps you to come back on track again and start focusing again. So I think I had a goal that I want to clear CA in first attempt, so that helped me a lot to come back on track once I get distracted. So I think that's what I did.
How much do you used to manage? मतलब कितना यूज किया करते थे आप मोबाइल और कैसे छोड़ देते उसको? गोल से आप छोड़ देते, but what was the balance of mobile and all other?
I did not have such particular time limits. It depends upon what I'm studying. If I knew what I had to do today, once I do that, then I think there's no problem in using phone too.
Wow, that means achieve your goal and then do whatever you want to. Very nice. So Piyush, I would just like you to pass on one message. अगर मैं आपको बोलता हूँ कि Innovate, the class which you chose, the career which you chose for your CA Inter journey, if you want to speak to Innovate, if Innovate को आप कुछ बोलना चाहोगे, तो what would you like to pass on message to Innovate? What impact did Innovate had in your result and in your entire journey?
Firstly, I would like to say a big thank you to all the faculties. I think the bond with the students had with faculty was very important personally for me, because I think once you have a sort of bond with the faculty, it's very easy for you to respect him. And I think you and Rahul sir made sure that you used to motivate us after every few days. I think we did not realize the importance of that initially, but now I think, as you asked earlier, how did I keep myself motivated? You guys played a very important role in that. And I think all the faculties, even if I had a doubt during my study leave, every faculty was very approachable. I could call them at any time. So I think the faculties were very good. Then there are obviously Ednoras, Ednofest, all those things just add the flavor. So I would like to say a big thank you. I think you guys played a very important role in me getting a rank. So yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
So more than a ranker, for every CA aspirant, if they want to have a safe journey, how much would you recommend Innovate to them?
Yeah, I would say I would completely recommend Ednovate. Now I have been a first-hand experience of it. So yeah, I would say that if you want to get a rank, I think the main motive should be pass both the groups. Rank is a byproduct of it. So I think if you want to pass both the groups, I think I will definitely recommend Ednovate.
Thank you, Piyush. Piyush, I would just like to take one last random rapid fire before we wind up today's session. So let's start. Best moment of your life?
It will definitely be seeing that rank 34 in my mobile phone.
You wish you had not done this in your CA journey?
Bunk most of my early bird lectures.
Best subject?
I think it will be accounts.
You are a theory guy or a practical guy?
Practical guy.
Your favorite teacher?
It will be Dhaval sir and Parag sir.
Oh, you are most scared of what?
Failing in costing.
One person without which you would have not sailed through your CS preparation.
My mother, obviously, she handled me for those 3 months of study leave.
First person in your head when you saw that rank?
I think it will be my grandfather, because of the CA studies, I was not able to be with him during the last phase of his life.
First 3 people you called when you got rank?
Mother, father, and Dhaval sir.
Oh, one quick message to all the CA aspirants watching this podcast today.
Be consistent, be focused, and join Innovate.
Thank you so much, Piyush. It was a wonderful having a conversation, and super duper congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you a lot more such successes coming ahead, and all the very best. I'm sure with this you are just going to skyrocket in all your further careers also.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.